All right, guys, we're going to get into BMF. This is season 1, episode 5. Now, in the beginning of this episode, we're looking at the deposition of Terry and his family versus the hospital and everybody else. It's a debate going back and forth because, and I really forgot about this, they felt like he put himself in harm's way, tried to run after his brother, fell out. So, of course, the hospital is talking about the cars he has, the money he has, trying to make it seem everything they can to not have to pay him anything. Okay, Meech went to go re-up with Pat, and then saw all kind of problems happen as his mentor was not happy that he was trying to leave him and make his own. Pat got really mad, punched him so hard that he knocked the breath out of him. I was like, woo, and told him, you on your own, bye. Okay, the hospital made an offer of $25K. The family did not think it was enough. Lucille straight up asked Terry if he was doing drugs, and Meech, they looked in her eye and straight up lied to her. Lamar was doing really well with his Monique and his daughter Zoe. He wanted to get her from school, but he was always late. Monique was like, okay, I'm going to give you a chance. But somebody picked her up instead. It was Uncle Meech. Picked her up early. She was super, super excited to see him, and Lamar was late. There was a man there. Give up the stash or for exchange for his child. So Lamar got the crew and was like, y'all better find my baby, period. One of the guys spoke out and was like, look, this ain't about business. I don't see why we got to do all this. He got mad to something, choked him out in front of everybody. I was like, look, go find my kid. Okay. Kato was with B. Mickey. After they got to do what they had to do, they received this 911 page to meet Meech, to meet her at the place. Meech and T wanted her to babysit Zoe while they went sort out the rest of their plan, whatever. Anyway, Lamar called Kato to alert her that his daughter was kidnapped by BMF, and she lied about it. That girl gonna get caught up really, really bad. She is. Terry was like, look, maybe we could just straight take Lamar out. But Meech was like, look, how you gonna want to take him out? You barely made it with the whole thing with Rock and burying him. There's no way you can do that. Okay? And especially with the stuff coming back at them with the J-Mo situation, too much is happening. Okay? J-Mo, that situation is getting out of control too. So, Lamar went to Kato trying to find his daughter. She wasn't there. Meech had just taken the baby like seconds before. Whew. And he was just looking. Upset, but looking. Okay? At the headquarters, what they call it, Drano, a man came in talking about J-Mo's disappearance. He was very good with numbers. Like he's good at seeing things. He said that he saw the person that actually took J-Mo the night he went missing. Detective Brian was there and was very uncomfortable. He was like, oh, snap. He was like, show him the lineup, which contains, showed Meech mugshot, and he said he wasn't there. Bryant immediately, turned him loose. And then the guy that was helping looked at Bryant as a possible suspect, which was like, okay. So Lopez mentioned the fact that J-Mo possibly lost a diamond earring when he was abducted. So Bryant was like double checking his car to find the evidence. J-Mo's earring was there. He almost got caught by Lopez, played it off. Lopez has been on him anyway. So Lamar came clean to Monique and told her that Meech took Zoe. She was so upset. She needed to know. He asked where Meech lived. She said, I don't know that he lived with his parents in the hole. Lamar asked the crew to aim for the southwest of Detroit. So Slick had like this lamp, whatever, and the 12th Street boys went to Terry's location. But Terry and his crew outsmarted them, and they knew that he was going to do that and threw him in the trunk. At the warehouse, they beat him, all kind of mess. But Slick was like, I'm not telling you nothing. So they did everything they could, beat him up, beat him in the face. He wasn't saying anything. Terry tried to even tell him, like, Chip, man, B. Mickey is crazy. Slick was like, but T got so mad they both stomped him. So Meech came there. He said, take Slick, let him go. Not let him go, but take him out the, they had him all locked up and everything in this chair. So Meech showed him the girl was in the car. He was like, I'm going to tell him. Because if I take the little girl out, I'm going to tell him she could have came home safe. All he had to do was tell me where y'all stuff was at, and he chose not to. He said, do you want me to be the one to tell Lamar that? that you could have saved his child, but you chose not to. So then he told him where the spot was at. And Slick was like, I'm going to go and take her to the house. So Slick returned Zoe to Lamar, and Monique. And when Zoe got home, she told her mother she had fun with Uncle Meech. Monique was scorned. She was mad. She told Lamar, stay away. You and Meech stay away from me. So Terry spoke to LaWanda about the money the hospital was offering. And he wanted money. He wanted his own coins rather than having to share it with his brother. So Pat called Detective Brian and said, hey, you work for me. Said working with Meech. And Brian turned Pat down. He said, oh, I'm going to take you down. You are old. What he said? I think he's talking about dinosaur. He said, I'm going to be the one to take you down. I was like, so Tiny, you remember Tiny? The one Lamar embarrassed in front of everybody. Met up with Meech. Got a deal. Buying the rest of the stash. Meech asked him, like, why are you doing this? He said, I'm a businessman first. So that doing that bought the brothers enough money to buy from Miguel. Meech mounted, was getting ready to go. And Terry was like, oh, no. You too flashy for her. Okay. So Detective Lopez and Detective Bryant went to go visit the witness that he picked up, but all of a sudden they found out he was gone. Somebody walked around the corner and was like, oh, he got his suitcase and he left. And so then Bryant went to go meet with Meech, confronting him about all that stuff coming down with the J-Mo's murder and everything, gave his money back to him. He said, I'm done. But see, what he didn't know, and I knew this, Lopez had followed Bryant. He saw the whole thing. So Terry purchased the re-up with the new plug, went to his mom's crib with the packages from their supply. Meech came over, and Terry, he was like, confronting him. He said, don't just get old. Don't just get old for you. I mean, he was hyped by it. He was hyped for the money. He was hyped for everything. All of a sudden, Lucille hears them talking, and she loses it. She finally learns that Terry was lying and was selling drugs. It was like about time. So that was the end of that episode. I don't know what's gonna happen. The fact that she finally found out that her precious child is not as precious and innocent, and I don't know how she didn't think that the dad been figured it out. The dad was even saying, "How you don't think that this boy is involved with his brother with these drugs?" He said he needs to get money for college so he can get away from his brother, and because he's smart, and go to school. He said, "Do you really believe that LaWanda's uncle got them all their stuff?" So that's the end of this review. More coming very, very